Guys, will we hit $4 trillion to hit the market? I think that's going to be a huge question. If firstly, it's going to be voted, is it going to happen? We think it's going to definitely happen. And what is this going to do for the market? Because right now, what we see is we do see a Dixie spike. We're starting to see the dollar strengthen. And what we're starting to see is a daily breakout over here. Now, what we're also starting to see is when the money princes and when money comes into the market, we know the effect that it actually has. And this is why we've got to pay attention now to see where are the stock markets and what are we looking for in major breaks. And we are currently getting a little bit of a pullback within the markets. And we can see that Bitcoin on the shorter time frame is similar to, it's really following the drawing that we put up over here of this short-term little pullback. Now, reason being is we had the 4-hour and 8-hour RSI sitting at the top. And now we're coming down to a very important moving average, a very important support. And if we bounce here, this is where the break could possibly happen. Now, we want to make sure we survive and we hold the critical levels. Because why I'm still confident at the moment and why I still think that this is really good and why we should be paying attention is because during this time over here, you have a pullback in Bitcoin, but we have Big Daddy. We have Big Daddy ETH when it comes to the altcoins. That's really starting to break to the upside now to the BTC pairing. And for me, it's like, why do we still have strength within Ethereum? And what's great about it is maybe we are going to finally lose the trend of the dominance. So what I want to focus on today is I want to speak about this current pullback. I want to give you the basic levels of what we want to hold within Bitcoin on this pullback. We're going to speak about the Dixie, where we want to see that reverse. We're going to speak about the stock markets, and then we're going to go through AI tokens again, go through many of the trades we've been taking. What does this mean for altcoins? What altcoins are strong right now? And how should we be preparing our portfolio if the market explodes at any moment? All that I'm saying is we're smelling money. And the last time we smelled money, we know what happens to the market. And this could give us a huge explosion. Tomorrow we have Hong Kong opening. They can buy crypto. Guys, this might be a very, very, very big week. We've got to stay focused. No more wasting time. Let's get into the show.
Click. Have you heard the news? What? With his finger on the pulse, it's like Sheldon knew. Click. When the sniper shoots, we got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. So enter the sniper, click. Time to be dedicated, sniper mode is activated. Explosions in the market are in target, and Sheldon demonstrates. Mirror on the wall, Master Sheldon tell us all. We got Sheldon on the chart, so we never lose. Enter the sniper, sharpshooter advisor. Enter the sniper, he marks the charts right. Enter the sniper, he's calling the cycles. Enter the sniper, click. Enter the sniper.
Crypto Banter fam, hope you're having a fantastic day. I feel like we're catching momentum. We're doing it well at the moment. We've gotten some great AI entries, and now we're focusing on the rest of the market. You know, we have so much happening and jumping on. Firstly, we have obviously possible money entering the market. What can this mean for us? Secondly, what we have is we obviously got the unlock and the dropping of Hong Kong being able to get within the crypto markets. And I want to see if I actually have this tweet here still. That's basically showing the tokens that are being unlocked to. Craig, do you mind sending this through to me again? And let's make sure that we can pop that up. But basically, we've been giving you guys the altcoins on what they're going to be able to buy. And now we want to see if the money enters the market and things play out right. And we do have Hong Kong, like, is this going to create a huge spike? Now, a lot of people, I've been speaking to Run, we've been speaking to the research team. They think on the short time frame, this can be really bullish. They think on the long time frame, it can be pretty bearish. So it's important for us to track the charts now and to see that if we are going to get a mega pump within crypto, we need to make sure that firstly, it's real. And what are the levels that we know it's fake? And that's a big thing because this may create hype. It may create a little bit of the pump, but we got to see a few things. Firstly, we got to create the break of the major trends, the getting above the higher highs again, the important levels. But we need to be very focused on volume too. And to make sure that whatever happens now is a true move and not a fake out. Because we got to not deny that where Bitcoin is right now is it's very important for a higher high. And if we don't get a higher high within Bitcoin, it is going to go tempt those lows again, if not possibly drop those lows, taking it to the lower range. So we got to really now focus on keeping it simple. I want you to be able to take your charts now to put a few basic scenarios and basic systems in play that you can just follow the market and know what to do and not panic. I need you guys to do me one favor over the next few days, is to not allow the emotions to consume you. Very important. The market moves crazy in any direction. You need to be balanced. You need to think clear, and you need to make good decisions. Very, very, very important. So the first thing let's quickly speak about is the Dixie strengthening. Now, what this basically means over here is we can see on the daily that we're starting to get strength within the dollar. Okay. And now this isn't really good for markets. This isn't really good for us to say that this is not bullish, right? The dollar strengthening, it means people are getting into the dollar. Now, what we want to pay attention to is, yes, we are getting the breakout. Fantastic. But ultimately, if we can set in a lower high over here, we can easily go back down to these lower ranges again. So on the shorter time frame, we are getting this. But what we just want to focus on is I want to focus on a rejection anywhere in this area over here. And I'll actually make it a nice little red box so you can see it there. This is where we want to see it shift back in. We need this bad boy to go down. Now, we still got to remember that this has come from a very long trend. If you look at the Dixie, this was obviously spiking up, and this was majority of the bear market that we've been seeing. And we broke back into that range. And ultimately, what we are doing now is we do have RSIs making their way up, but I am seeing the daily RSI get to the top, which is a good sign. Now, all that we want to do is we just want to confirm it when it comes to the actual chart to make sure that we show weakness within price action too. So we're getting to an overbought position when it comes on the daily, which means at some point we're going to have a pullback from this current little push to the upside. And we just want to track where is that on price action, and is that still bearish? You know, can we still have this huge collapse? Because when we started to lose this major trend, what it basically opened it up for is it opened for a really big pullback. And we started a pullback. That's amazing. But for me, we bounced on this support over here. And I want to know, are we going to have that true run? You know, we've been speaking about alt season. We've been speaking about maybe a 40K Bitcoin. We've been speaking about many of these things. In order for that to happen, we need a lot of things to go our way. And what we really wanted to see from the Dixie is we wanted to see the real big move that brings it back to the earlier supports, the more major supports for me, that gives us a little bit more of a longer term pump, more than just these 2-3 week Bitcoin pumps. And then we go 2-3 weeks of bearishness. Like, we want a 3-month consistent move. And what we got to remember again, guys, is we have gone through 400 days of downside. And this was the same thing that happened within the 2017 run too. So now we have officially done that. And if it does stick to the original thing of what it's always done, the bottom should technically be in. And what that means now is we are finally getting to this bottom range. At some point, the climb will start again. And when that climb starts again, it starts off slowly. It slowly grinds up to the upside, and then it starts to blow off speed off top. And the way it basically works is in that bottom range and that slow grind to the upside is your smart investors. The guys that have survived, they understand a little bit more of the emotions. They understand these things. And that's why the slowness is there, because they accumulate when there's not so much volume in the market. They take their time to build their positions. And then all of a sudden you start to get price. And it's very similar to this actually. Because if you look over here, this for me is sort of the cycle that you'll see many times, where you basically have your incredibly strong bear market, right? Where we have this, let's actually get the tool I'm looking for. There we go. You have the really strong bear market, and then you have the accumulating, and then you start the grind, okay? And the grind goes up slowly, and then all of a sudden you start the huge peak, and the really start the intense speed up within the actual price action. Okay, which is big. Now, for me, smart guys over here, accumulating over time. Then all of a sudden, you got your little bit more experienced, still not as the full smart money category, but the guys that have been through 1 or 2 bull markets, the guys that have a little bit more experience, they have a little bit more control, and they're a little bit more conservative, where they come in, they're like, I want to make sure. And then they start entering here, and then you have retail. And that's what you got to understand now, again, where we're at with Bitcoin, is I still think we are in this little phase over here of coming up. I still think whoever's sitting and watching this stream right now is still falling under smart money. And even a little bit more of a push to the upside, still smart. And we want to basically be in and set and ready by the time this starts to move. And if we want this to happen, we need to start breaking some really big down long-term trends when it comes to DXY, when it comes to the USDT dominance, which I'll speak about in a sec. And that's why it's important to track this. Now, maybe this money coming into the market will finally give us that. Maybe it will give us this big spark, okay? Now, a lot of people are saying it's a short term. This could be short term, the whole thing with Hong Kong, it can create the short term thing, which I agree with. And we need to be prepared for that. But what we want to basically see is if we can have this DXY slow down. Firstly, we don't want it to get above 105, 106. That's important, okay? That's a great thing. Then it's going to come down for a low. All that I need this little hype to do is to get it to lose this level. Automatically, this will create the panic. It's very similar to what we saw here, that the smart money comes in here and they build their positions up until it gets to a certain area where retail just come in and the FOMO kicks in, and you no longer need to control volume anymore because the whole world's just FOMOing in within the markets, and it starts to become really easy. And that's what we're looking for here, is this may bring short-term bullishness, but we really want the short-term bullishness to trigger a certain point that we don't really need news or any narratives to slow down the momentum. So what we want to see is we want to see a rejection of a lower low within the DXY, and then we want to see the drop of the $100 or the 100 mark. We lose the 100 mark. Now we start a way longer term sort of push of looking up to another 10, 15% down. And the last time we had that, this was obviously really good for Bitcoin. You can see what happened in that time for Bitcoin, finally getting it from the mid, the 16, 17,000 all the way to the $30,000 level. And we're just looking at that again. So guys, this could hopefully be the moment to slow down this dollar. We do not want to see the dollar break through. Now, if the dollar starts to break through the 106, and let's say we do reject. So today it goes to the 106, right? And it gives us a higher high. Then all of a sudden it will reject at some point because it will basically come and do a higher low, right? So it will go up here, higher high, okay? And then it decides this, and that can obviously spike. What that will entail for us is that this little bullish move that could happen from this news, from the money entering the market, is going to be short-lived. And that's basically saying that when we do have this little explosion or a strong push to the upside, as long as Bitcoin holds the major levels, which we'll go through shortly, make some smart decisions on that pump to get rid of what you're too exposed of and things like that. So it's so important, guys. If we get the lower high here and we reject back into this, it means money that you have exposed can be held longer because we could be going into a long downtrend here and a really strong push within Bitcoin. But if we do go for the higher high, it means we're still going to get that bullish push, but it's going to be short-lived. It may be a few days. And when that comes in, you may see a great explosion, like within Ethereum, within altcoins, because if that dominance drops that major level, and let's actually jump to dominance here. If that drops this over here, it's going to happen fast, because what it's showing here is we got this flag. But ultimately, guys, you got to remember that we've seen this pattern before. And where we saw this pattern before was Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin when it came to the May. Let's actually go back there quickly. It was May. It was literally the first May of 2021 where we've seen this pattern. And it's basically this pattern over here. You see. So basically, we start to form this slowdown and we start to form this wedge. Very similar. So you get to a critical area and you're forming the wedge. And as soon as we lose that wedge, you start the acceleration and it really starts to speed up strong to the downside. Now, guys, we've been having this argument the whole year of when is dominance going to finally slow down. But all that I'm saying is we can clearly see that we are getting, let's just get back to the pattern. We are getting to a possible, they like to call it a distribution, what is it? Offload sort of pattern, right? Where this is slowing down now. And if we lose this, I'm still seeing at any moment a very strong acceleration to the 44. Now, guys, may this be a dump. May this be a pump. We'll speak about that shortly. All that I'm saying is when this loses, there's a really strong acceleration that comes through. Now, let's quickly paint a little bit of a picture. If this DXY decides to get this higher high, and all of a sudden we start this, and what this indicates, this pullback over here, is it means a daily stochastic RSI resets. Okay, so from over here, it means this goes from overbought all the way to oversold. Okay, and how long does that usually take? If we look at the last one, probably in the areas of around 2-3 weeks. 2-3 weeks is what it can mean. So if this is a higher high, we can go 2-3 weeks bullishness. In that time, this dominance could possibly drop this and give us 2-3 weeks. But then that could be it. for a little while. Like that could be it, where let's say we do have finally an altcoin push, because what I see on that sheet when it comes to what's opening to Hong Kong, guys, we have Litecoin, we have Chainlink, we have Bitcoin Cash, we have Cardano, we have DOT, we have so many of these tokens we've been waiting for. And maybe this moment comes at any point. But it's so important that we want to know how long it is. Is this going to be a 3-week push? And should we take money because to take our profits and protect our money when that happens? Because it will happen. It will give us great gains. It'll probably turn a lot of our losses into wins. Okay. Or is it something that we hold for 3 months now, that this has just changed the whole game? It started this uptrend now, and maybe Bitcoin just goes on the slow grind, and literally we go up for the next, 2 years, where you got to remember only the last 6 to the 9 months is where it really gets fast. Doesn't mean it's not going to go up slowly. And we saw this after COVID, where it literally went up slowly. Bitcoin was $4,000, slowly to 10, slowly to 14, slowly to 21, and boom, all of a sudden we rampage. We had 40 in a blink of eye. We look again, we had 60. We look again, we had 30. We look again, we had 69. We look again, and now it's a year and a half later, we're sitting all the way down in the dumps again and back from a bear market. So what I'm trying to say here is this bull market can spark at any moment. And just pay attention to something that's very simple. So to simplify this again, if the Dixie goes above this high, it may mean that any pump that's going to come now can still be a big one, but ultimately it's still meaning that there's another leg coming up. And this could be the depression phase that we've been speaking about. So it means make big decisions that if this dominance drops and we have this huge push out, you're going to make the money. And what better than the money, you're going to make the Bitcoin. Like that's what we want to know about this thing, is it means altcoin outperformance. And this is definitely coming from Ethereum. Let's quickly go back to the Dixie. So higher high, amazing. If we get a lower high and we come down and we lose that low, oh, guys, we're on. This is on for a good period of time. I still say again, how do they screw us this time compared to the last bull markets? Is they possibly send it earlier? And that's a really big thing for us to focus on, is maybe the bull market starts earlier this time. Just put it out there. I'm not saying it is. All I'm saying is be ready if it does, because that's where they're going to catch us if they run it too early. And that's when they're going to hit us. So basic view on the Dixie, pay attention to that. While we're on that quickly, let's quickly look at the stock markets and just see where we are there, because that's very important too. That's going to help us when it comes to the Dixie. So right now, stock market is still in trend. So I want you to go to the daily, and I just want you to put this trend line in. And you just want to see that we hold this trend line. If we hold this trend line, we still have hope for a lower high within the Dixie. Very important. And then what we have is this break of trend to the upside. Now, we've got to remember that the stock market, it's been ranging for a while. People have been speaking about it like, being a hard market. Yeah, but not too bad, actually. Like it could be a lot worse, and it may still get a lot worse. And that's the big thing. So we want to focus on this over here. And we can see the amount of times it's been hitting this top. And if we decide to break either one of these lines, I think it's going to finally give us a true direction of where it's going for the next few months. Because if we lose this trend to the downside, stock market can come down hard, guys. It can really come down hard. And I want us to mentally prepare in case that does happen. Alt season, guys, I know it would be nice. It would be great. For me, I'm just happy I haven't missed the alt season. So I don't mind being wrong on when it exactly is. I just know we're going to get it. And that's the big thing. I'd rather get it and not get the timing right than not get it at all. That's the very important thing. But what you can see here within the stock market, guys, is we have major levels to the downside. And if we do end up losing this current trend we're at now, like this could really start a bad spike down. And people have been speaking about recession. They've been speaking about a really bad market. If we do lose this trend, we need to be aware of that. Maybe Bitcoin shines in that time. Maybe we shall see. Maybe Bitcoin, it's time to shine, right? When everything's falling down, maybe Bitcoin decides to go through the roof at that time. But we want to pay attention to the downside of what it can do for both, because this could bring us back to the early 20,000s. And it's very important for us to stay focused to that. So put this trend line on the daily. If we start to daily close over here, it probably means that Dixie is making a higher high. And it means that this could speed down. Let's just show you over here. This could speed down over here. Then it could have a bounce for a retest and then the really strong leg down. And that's just then again confirming to us that if we get the bullish news now and we get the strong push, if we do this pattern over here, it's a short push, guys. It means we need to make some serious decisions in 2 to 3 weeks, because this may be a long-term downtrend. And by long-term, not even like medium-term, 3 to 6 months. And we can use this opportunity to free up some cash and to get a lot more cheaper and to farm a lot of tokens. But that's if this plays out. If this decides to do the opposite of where this literally breaks the top and we break through here, we can be back at all-time high very quickly. Very quickly. And that's crazy. Maybe this is what can give us the fuel to get to the 40K Bitcoin. Ordinals already triggered the bull market. I agree, guys. I agree. Like for me, it's like, it's very hard to be bearish at this point, but we got to stay the focus of this is not good. If we lose this trend, this is not good. This is one thing that we have to stay focused to, because if we have anything between a 10 to a 20% drop within the stock market, you know, that could do some damage and it could just slow our short-term momentum up, down at the moment. But when it comes to what could be the next catalyst, this is what gets exciting, because you're always going to have a catalyst that starts a bull market. Now we have the ordinals. We have people finally building on Bitcoin, right? It's like, this is crazy. And this finally gives the opportunity that my mind's changed on Bitcoin now, because for me, it's like, whoa, like you're becoming a serious player now, but there's also going to be a bunch of junk that starts on it too. And I know that it needs to take a little bit of time for it to get legit, but it's important that it is that. Then we have the AI narrative, and the AI narrative can literally spark this run at any single moment. And these are things that we got to really, really pay attention to, is what is going to be the spark? Because I remember how DeFi sparked the last. DeFi was a big part of the last bull run, the one in 2020, 2021. That was a big part, was DeFi. And then it was NFTs, and it was all these things that hurt. Like, I think AI is going to be a huge part of it, as well as Bitcoin ordinals, as well as these things. The only difference that it's going to do this time is it may send Bitcoin solo for a little bit longer, because that can possibly take the dominance back up to the 55% range. But at some point, we know that it will be diversified into the altcoins. So pay attention to that. Last one here before I jump into quick updates within all the charts, guys, is the USDT dominance. Now, this is an important one, guys. Important one to focus on, because what this basically means for us over here is this is money flowing into the dollars, right? So I show this chart now and then, but it's so good and so accurate when it plays out perfectly. So what we have at the moment is we have a bearish pattern actually forming on this. So this is basically replicating the Dixie, right, within the crypto way. And basically what it means is if it's going up, people are getting into USDT. So they're panicking, they're feeling fearful, okay? But what I want to remind you about is we're actually building a bearish pattern, okay? Unless we break a certain level. So if you take over here and you take this little high over here, if we get through that, okay, now people are really starting to panic and get within the USDT. Okay, until then, we're forming a bearish, what do they call it? Uprising wedge to the upside. And if we decide to lose this little area over here, at any moment, lose this support, this could spiral this all the way back down. Now, I want to put this into context of what this means. The last time we were here, Bitcoin was $30,000. Ethereum was $2,100. A lot of the coins were 30% higher than where they are now. That was here, okay? But remember what I said about the Dixie, where the Dixie was in this long uptrend. Okay, so was the USDT dominance. Makes sense, right? But end of the day, what it was basically meaning was we had this trend, we retested it. If we make the lower high here and we come down, it's the same thing what I was saying. If it comes down, let's say this makes a higher high now and it comes down, that means this pump over here is a short one. Let's take our profits, let's get out, okay? If we get a lower high here, where we are now, and we drop this, and we drop this, boom, then it's huge. Because if you look at the pumps that we had this year, we started off in January, right? We started over January at $16,000, and we ended up going to $30,000 in a few months later. And that was this little leg over here. That's what created that, was people running out of USDT. If we lose this level, guys, look how big, huge, massive that could be. And for me, it's like we've been waiting for alt season, we've been waiting for all these things. That's why it's important to stay focused now, because if we lose this level of here, that's where it all happens. Now you got to play this smart, guys. I need you guys to become a lot more simpler and a lot more smart, because if you are building positions within crypto, and if you are building, you always want to build in the right phases. Now remember what I explained to you guys previously, that when you enter the crypto market, the way you make money is very simple. You got three different ways the market goes. You got the acceleration mode, you got the sideways mode, and you got the downwards mode, okay, in any way or form. But these are always the areas that you want to make your decisions and you want to enter the market and exit the market. By the time you have any of these big moves, your trades need to be done. And that's the important thing. Now, for example, if you see a coin, okay, that let's say is coming to the upside and you miss the pump and all of a sudden it forms a flag. Why do we always say buy the flag, right? Because this is where you want to build your position. You want to get your whole position in so that by the time the action happens, you don't have to worry. You don't have to try chase. You don't have to allow those emotions to drive you crazy as it happens. So we always want to put the hard work in when the market slows down so that we're already in by the time the late people come in on either direction. And it's the same thing when it comes to the downside. When the market comes down and it forms this, and we lose these levels here, you want to either exit or short your positions by the time that happens. Because when it moves, you already want your decision to be made. Okay, so we make sense now. We make the decisions when this is happening. When something is slowing down and something's preparing for a next big move. You don't want to make any decisions when it's already played out, because that's what gets you trapped and gets you far behind. So now I'll take you back to the USDT charts and back to this. And what do you currently see right now as things stand? You could see a strong pullback and you can see the sideways starting to make now. So what I'm saying is, if we start to lose this trend to the downside over here, this is the area of where you want to build and make sure that your positions in your portfolio is ready. Before this comes, you don't want to have to make those decisions when this has come already. Do you see this little area over here of where you wanted to make your decision? That was where to make your decision to get Bitcoin. Oh, okay, Bitcoin's breaking 21. Oh, it's breaking critical areas. Amazing. Okay, I'm in. Boom. You didn't have to make any late decisions. Now you're in early on the 20Ks on Bitcoin and Bitcoin's at 30,000. You can breathe a little bit more. Even a little pullback like now where Bitcoin's sitting at $27,000 area, you are not panicked. You're not stressing anymore because you got in at the right phase. You can breathe. And that's the thing. You may not have caught the top now and got the full dip back, but your entry is sitting there and you're comfortable. I need you guys to keep those minds solid and strength. And that's how it works. So if we start to lose this trend to the downside here, guys, and we start to move, we want to use this opportunity here. Make sure we lose this trend first. Someone said, I'm buying this dip. Do me a favor. Buy this dip when we lose this trend. When we lose this trend where my yellow circle is, we lose this, then keep buying some more. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to teach you to be smart because yes, we are forming a bearish pattern, but ultimately we're still in support. But when we lose this, you early, guys, you early that you're seeing a momentum drop quickly and then make your decision, I'm buying more. And as this comes down, I am loading up and making sure that I'm building into my positions, getting my stop losses in so that by the time this drops off here, boom, you're in, you are set, you are done. So when you're saying I'm buying today, just start doing with it a little bit more of a structure and a plan so that you can start trusting yourself more and you can start making decisions on a way less emotional sort of game. Because for me, it's like, okay, I've been buying a lot, guys, and I've been building a lot of these portfolios. That's amazing. But ultimately, I'm inside of me, I'm like, I also have dollars. I want to buy more. But I have to stick to the plan. If when this line drops here, then I can buy more. And the only reason you're doing that is you're building a system that works for yourself, that you're finally trusting. Yes, I do shows every day, but I want you guys to know the system. I want you to be able to trust the system. So very important. So take this chart, guys, and put this. Yeah, if you enjoyed this content, hit the like button. It means a lot. Hit the like button. If you look at this wedge, put this wedge up over here. If we drop, just remember, you always want to build in the slow down phase. You want your decision to be made. Any decisions that you make here or here are going to hurt you. Because if you're too late, you're going to jump, you're going to do these sort of things. So just, if that's a big lesson I can give you guys today, focus very much on that. Okay, now let's jump back into, let's go over here. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's see where we're at. 27,000. So we're starting to get a little bit of a decent pullback, if you may call it, on the shorter time frames. And now we've got to pay attention to the shorter time frame supports. So the supports that we have is we have this initial trend over here. If you take this down, boom, we have that trend support over there. Secondly, what we have is if you take your Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, you have your 618. Boom. Okay. So what it's giving us now is it's giving us an area for us to hold to make sure that we can attempt to break this trend again. So what you do is you take your little block and you say, okay, so I have a 618 over here. Amazing. I have a higher high. I want to see a higher low. Where's the zone? And this is where the Fibonacci becomes powerful. Because now you take this and you go, okay, boom, it's giving me an area. So on this current pullback right now on Bitcoin, we want to hold the areas of the 26,800 to the areas of the 27,000. We want to hold that. We hold that nicely. We bounce. Amazing. You take your trend line from the top, put it in, boom, boom. Amazing. Why do you put this trend line, guys? Not only to catch the breakout, to give you a time. So what I love about trend lines is it gives me more or less a time of how long I should wait to expect something. Okay. And as you could see over here, I like to call it a momentum line, right? As you can see over here, that's the current momentum. And you can see we're starting to speed up. And what that basically means is, remember what I just showed you. Price always does this. When it comes down or any fast action, it slows down first and then it reverses. So whenever you're looking at something come down to a critical area, you want to see a little bit of a slowdown phase first. Once you've got a slowdown phase, then you can start prepping. And that's where a trend line is beautiful, because what the trend line does for me now is it gives me the momentum. So now all of a sudden, if price comes down and it hits this area of where we're seeing support, where we're seeing a Fibonacci, where we're seeing the 618 Fibonacci, and we're seeing the horizontal support. And I'm pretty sure if I put this up over here, oversold RSI, that's 3 tick boxes. Amazing. Cool. Now we bounce this. What it's also showing us is we're still a little bit away from momentum. So what we want to see is we want to see this. We want to see a little push up. We want to see a little bit of slowdown. And then we want to go. And once we go there, then we want to break the high and we want to break the next one. So you see now, you got an area of support. We hold that amazing RSIs at the bottom. Expect to go sideways, expect to move. But you see what that does for me? It basically shows me now, okay, cool. So this gives me a little bit of time, and it means probably in the next 2-3 days is when we can really have the big breakthrough. So if we hold these levels and we break this and USDT drops that trend line, I'm in, I'm set, I'm ready. And you're also giving yourself a realistic view that this can take 2 days to slow down now before initial break. But what's crazy about it is if this little pump happens over here and that dominance drops, all of a sudden we have dominance dropping that major level and dropping that major trend. Let's see if I actually got it on this one over here. And it drops. You could have altcoins moving. Even though Bitcoin's sitting sideways, you can have it moving. Yes, join Sniper School. We have the next cohort starting in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Register below. Make sure you're on Banter Bubbles, all those things. And remember, guys, the ByBit competition ends today. We have David. I think David's going to take it. He did Sniper School. I'm proud of him. David, I'm so proud of you. Well done on what you've done. But guys, remember, there's one more day of promotion for ByBit. If you jump onto ByBit and you put in $250 now deposited with the registered link below, you get an extra $50. And you get it by the time the competition ends. So just want to remind you on that. Craig, what's up?
Yeah, just exactly that. So ByBit has contacted us. It finishes in, what, two and a half hours. So obviously people aren't going to enter the competition, but there's that $250 bonus. I mean, that's a huge bonus. So if you just register, you can grab that bonus, which you can use to trade for. Don't let go. I mean, $50, it's 20%. So yeah, I just want to encourage people, get that link registered, get the money in and get the bonus. Because I mean, our live trading sessions are playing off really, really well at the moment for those that
we have live trading sessions. Join them, guys. And you know what's nice? We should get a little bit more action on market open today. So you definitely want to be in the live session. It's just after run show.
So it's 10 a.m. Eastern or 4 p.m. South African time. And I mean, we have been on an absolute roll over the last 2 weeks. I mean, it really come together. The guys have really made good money. So not only are we showing you the trades, we're showing you how we actually get to the trade, which I think is way more important, you know. So it's not just giving you the fish, you're seeing how we actually fish. So yeah, my encouragement, just get there, guys.
Amazing. Thank you, brother. So guys, now we know. So just to number down quickly, 26,700, this area over here, go take your 4-hour chart, take a Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, get your area, put your horizontal in, know that the RSI is getting oversold. And we hold this area, you put your trend line in, you know that it can take a little bit of time. You want to see price slow down here a little bit, and then you can make the big decisions. Amazing. Cool. Fantastic. Now let's quickly jump into a few updates. For me, AI is still going to absolutely explode. I still see so much happening. I see we nailed this one really good. We really got this one in the box, and there it took off. So anyone that got those buys, you're in a really good place at the moment. So AI is still one of the big narratives, guys. And I still think for a long-term holder, I would build a little bit of an AI portfolio that you have it. Now, I was actually doing a live event last night, guys. And we're speaking to everyone. And it's like, so how do you really make money? Especially for the guys that have a little bit of money, okay? Is every time you make profits, you got to have this like splitting system But guys, you got to get into these different narratives, because I remember seeing so many times, like when Uniswap came out with DeFi, I remember that I had like $300 or something in my wallet or anything like that, and I got a $4,000 airdrop that just came out of nowhere because I was part of the narrative. And that's the thing. If you get any of these new narratives that come, don't be afraid to put very small amounts of money that you can put in to be a part of it all, because for some reason crypto just blesses you out of nowhere. Be a part of that. I've seen it so many times, guys. So again, pay attention to AI. It can be a huge narrative. We know AI is here to take over the world. It's here to do crazy things. So pay attention. We have Singularity that woke up strong yesterday and entering buy zone again. This for me is a dollar costing zone for spot. Let's look at Fetch quickly. Fetch did really well. Great higher high. If it does come anywhere between 25, 26 bucks, it's a dollar costing zone for me. This one is gone for now. Gone for now. We'll speak about that. Hold on strong, guys. I think this thing can go still far. I think you're going to make a lot of good money on that one. Let's speak about Render. So Render yesterday had a great bounce the way we went to the two. Really, really, really good bounce. But what the momentum line teaches you is, firstly, we need to make sure we hold this current bounce now. So we want Bitcoin to obviously bounce on that level. Amazing. But secondly, do you see how this momentum line gives you understanding of time? Because if this bounces again and goes up, it's showing Render needs a little bit of time and then it goes. So this is showing as long as we hold this level here, it's going to slow down a little bit and the breakout will come in a few days. Amazing. Also knowing that if we lose this low now, we are going down to the possible lower entries. Now, I think you want Render. If you like AI and you believe in all this stuff, Render is definitely big. We're trying to see where's the best place. Now, I've been speaking about Render at $2 for long term. I think $2 is a great place to dollar cost for long term. So pay attention. Maybe you get that, okay? On the shorter time frame, if this holds this level, breaks that trend, you're in. Otherwise, we do have another few smaller supports over here, which could be nice little areas for you to slightly top up. I would save majority of my cash for some time in the future of where a $2 is tested. So, but you do have the levels of 2.3, 2.1, and then you have $2. So maybe you want to put in some orders so you can catch them on the way down in case it happens. And the only way you'll erase some of those orders is if this breaks up and starts to break this, because then you can enter within the break and you can put your stop loss. So pay attention to Render, guys. I think it's one you definitely want. Ocean Protocol. Now this one, great breakouts. Did not make the higher high just yet, but I'm expecting it to bounce strong if Bitcoin bounces. Really strong. Yeah, the money prints will go brrr. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. We want that Dixie to slow down. So what we have on Ocean is Ocean AI. This is definitely playing a big role over here. And you can see it's coming down to test supports now. So for me, I think this is wicking below. I think this is going to trap some short-term leverage traders. I think it's going to be bought up. And if we close back in there, I think it's going to be great. So for me, I'm adding slightly to my Ocean positions over here, because Ocean shows a lot of strength when the market wakes up really quickly and is a part of the AI narrative. We then have GRT, which many argue that's not a part of the narrative, okay, but is obviously an incredible coin to make money on. It really, really, really is. We have heard it is, but what anyone's opinion is, no problem. Go do your own research. For me, I'm trading it strong. No buys here now. We've absolutely nailed the entry, but there could be some buys within the future. Now, the next ones I want to speak about quickly is THETA is slightly faking out now. So I got a short-term stoppage that happened on my THETA. So for now, I'm patient. And because we didn't get the full higher high yet, if we get the higher low, I'll be focusing on this one. So I'll update this one on tomorrow. Let's go through things like Litecoin. So Litecoin was popping its head out. Never got the full higher high just yet. But the same thing. If we get a higher low here and we break, amazing. I still think Litecoin is incredible, guys. And what you have over here is you can protect yourself. So you can put your support trend line in there. So what it's showing is Litecoin can come a little bit lower to around about the 86 to the 88. And that will be a great zone. And your stop losses will be under this trend line. But Litecoin, we know it's a part of that list. I think it's going to rocket. Actually, another one is Neo. Neo and Sand. These were two that for me, let's just put it in here. So Neo, if this whole China narrative and stuff plays out, there we go. Is Neo and Sandbox. These were two that I've seen that we must also pay attention to if this starts to play out strong. So let's see where Neo is at the moment. Nothing crazy just yet, actually. But it does obviously have a really strong horizontal. So we'll keep eyes on this, and I'll update this one on tomorrow. The next one I want to see quickly is Sandbox. So sorry, guys, I just heard these. I just want to make sure that we are aware of what they're doing so that we can be on top of it. This market wakes up in any moment. That was what, oh, it's still my old supports. My old supports, and there's still my alarm. Okay, Sand. What I like about Sand, so let's quickly clear here. There we go. So not yet, but incredible trend. There we go. So pay attention to that one. We'll come back to this one. It's about what looks hot now, what we're going to trade now, and what we're going to come back to, right? That's a big one. 1,000 likes, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Another thing, guys, please go follow my personal channel, Sheldon the Sniper. Follow my personal channel. I got a podcast dropping later. I dropped one with my mom, and I'm dropping new ones too. So go watch that. I'd appreciate it very much. Okay, let's jump back in here quickly. Let's go look at these tokens. We have Bitcoin Cash popped its head, coming slightly in again. So we want to hold this support over here. It's crazy. It actually seems like they're trapping short-term traders at the moment. We obviously want Bitcoin to hold that level, guys. But you can see what they're doing here is they're creating that like early panic. And that's the thing. We got the money printers coming on. We got the whole Hong Kong thing. Like, it's interesting to see. So the main thing we just want to see from a lot of these tokens is just hold support. Hold support right now. And then we'll focus on, because if I look here, this could be a lot of shorter term inverse head and shoulders. You see the left shoulder over here, the head, the right shoulder, and possible break. So we'll pay attention there. Right now, Bitcoin Cash slightly faking out, but not breaking the support trend just yet. This is what we're going to pay attention to and see where we're at by tomorrow. We have Cardano. Perfect. Higher high, still in trend. This is the only line that worries me if we break it. For now, Cardano. I've seen a lot of people showing interest in Cardano all of a sudden. Let's see what happens there. Dot, short-term, fake out. So this, I said, put stops here. If not yet, you might get a little bounce over here. Just slightly de-risk for now. Doesn't mean it's a shitty entry. Doesn't mean it's not going to pump from here. It means slightly de-risk until we have the Bitcoin range out. And then we get back in and we make the decision. It's about understanding your risk to reward and your losses. Very simple. Difference between rich and poor, or successful and non-successful, is riding their wins and cutting their losses. Very, very, very important. So for now, dot faking out in the shorter time frame. I'll protect my position slightly now until it starts to break the ranges that we want. We have BNB on support now. The bounces, amazing entry. If it does decide to lose, and it starts to, and let's say Bitcoin starts to lose those lows, we'll do something like this, and there'll be some great farming and shorting opportunities. For now, still in trend, still holding. You don't break your back by worrying at any of these things. Someone said, please share the charts. If you go into Discord, you can see Sheldon's charts. Sheldon's charts is all there. XRP flying at the moment, still looking good as things stand. No buys, but hold on strong, looking really good. Injective protocol looking good, nearly at a possible another buy zone. I'll update you guys by tomorrow, and the rest of the market. So I think right now, guys, we got to focus on Ethereum, because Ethereum looking good, and we got to focus on getting the loss of the Bitcoin dominance. We can lose this lower high in Dixie. We can get Bitcoin. The main thing is just bounce. That's what we wanted to do now. We want Bitcoin to bounce. This is where we want it to bounce. Once it's bounced, we start to get a bit of strength. We can make some big decisions. And if this plays out, we need to be ready and we need to rock it. So guys, if you enjoyed the content, smash the like button. I'm here to teach you how to fish. I'm here to inspire you to stop allowing your emotions to make small mistakes, because I allowed it to make a lot of mistakes within me. Learn everything that I did today, replicate my charts, go find them on Discord, come join Sniper School, which I'm doing another live session within 10 minutes, and have an absolute fantastic day. You know that the charts can take a little bit of time. So go spend some time with the family, look after yourself, look after your mental health, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Much love, Banter fam.